How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Ruffledrowlit, and welcome back to a brand new video, guys. So yes, today is April the 1st, but we have ourselves a brand new rumor we're going to take a look at. Now, I need to explain something really fast, and I want to do it really quickly. So, you may think, because it's April the 1st, that every single thing that pops up is fake. Well, let me actually tell you something really interesting. In 2018, on April the 1st, there was this rumor posted. I'll see if I can get an image of it. Now, this rumor actually was the first time we ever got to know the true names of the upcoming Pokemon games, as well as the logo for it, which was for Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee. This rumor was posted on April the 1st in 2018, and it turned out to be real. So keep that in mind when we're reading today's rumor, that even though something's posted on April the 1st, it still has the possibility of actually being real. So what is it we're actually taking a look at? Well, here's the rumor for today. This was sent to me by Zania on Twitter earlier today. So here's basically what it says. Sinnoh, Diamond and Pearl Remakes for Switch. So I'm not sure when this exactly was posted. It was today, clearly, on April the 1st, but I can't really see the name of the post or any of that due to the image. But here's what they continue saying, though. So Sinnoh, Diamond and Pearl Remakes for Switch, September 2021 release. Now, let me point something out really quickly here. This is very possible. There are actually hints in Sword and Shield, which I'll try to put on the screen here. There are actually hints in Sword and Shield that we will be getting some sort of Diamond and Pearl in the future, and it's very common for Game Freak to hint stuff. But let's continue reading and we'll break this down individually afterwards. So, what's next? Well, September 2021 release date, then Dawn, Luca, and Barry play roles in the story. You and your rival are new protagonists. Interesting. That would imply that Dawn is no longer your kind of semi-rival and Barry is no longer your main rival, right? So it would be instead this new character, basically. Next, female rival, Mother is Champion Cynthia. That again sounds pretty cool in my opinion. Wild Area is replaced by Coronet Mountain Wild. So basically, you've got a wild area in the Coronet Mountain, I guess, which is supposed to replace it. Then power spots can be found around underground, which I guess are the places we get like the kind of Rotom kind of thingy-majingy going on. Rotom Bike returns with its abilities to traverse mountain scales and see through the fog of misty terrains. Fair enough. Next up, Regigigas fight requiring transferring 5 Regis from Galar, which would imply that you would need to have the DLC for this. Next, new Giganto Max Forms for several Pokemon, including Carnivine and Luxray, which again sounds pretty standard. DLC will be made for extra Sinnoh Islands, but currently halted due to our current predicament with the thing going on in the world. Next up, Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald Virtual Console on February 2021. Next up is built-in Faraway Island, which would be fantastic, like genuinely fan-freaking-tastic to have in the like re-releases. That would be honestly amazing. Next up is a different kind of rumor. Now, this was posted by CentroPokemon Leaks. Now, who are CentroPokemon Leaks? Well, it's this kind of website or place where they kind of cover Pokemon news. Their official one is CentroPokemon, but they posted about something totally different. And what is it that we're talking about today? Well, basically, they posted these links to these soundtracks, apparently saying that, hey, guess what? We think that the DLC for Pokemon Sword and Shield has leaked. And here's what they say. Of course, we're assuming the source who shared the music isn't lying. All of this matches with what we know of the Nintendo leak. We're trying to say that it's not an April Fool's joke from us. We think it's real, but we can never be 100% sure until the release. Of course, we're assuming the source who shared the music isn't lying. Of course, this is what they're trying to get across. Here's the thing, though. This was all posted on this page or YouTube channel called Video Game Music Resources. Now, I will not be playing any of this music in case this is actually real. In case this is actually from the DLC, I will not be playing it due to copyright. I would want to avoid that because Nintendo are very strict about those sort of things, and I do not want to break the rules. So basically, I won't be playing it, but I will mention that this was something that came out. So apparently, the music from from Sword and Shield's DLC, Isle of Armor and Crown Tundra apparently has leaked. Again, we don't know for a fact. Alright, so now let's take a look at that whole rumor, right, the Diamond and Pearl one, and break down each aspect of it and seeing how likely it is. So let's start first with what it first mentions, which is that it's going to be a remake of Diamond and Pearl. That's mostly logical because them doing a Platinum remake is unlikely. Instead, they'd probably do a Platinum episode, like a kind of post-game type thing in the games or in the remakes to kind of make up for not having the games being Platinum remakes. Next up, September 2021 release. This again sounds reasonable. Now, September is a little bit of an odd date. I do wonder why it wouldn't be November as always, but why is September the date instead? Seems a little bit odd. As for 2021 next year, it makes sense. I've already kind of pointed out, and I will kind of point it out again here, that there are hints in Sword and Shield towards Diamond and Pearl. There are hints at Diamond and Pearl and Sinnoh in Sword and Shield, and if you think that that doesn't mean anything, then you gotta go back and check all the previous Pokemon games and look at how they used to hint in every Pokemon game what the next thing would be. They always do this. They hinted in Sun and Moon what the next game would be, which was Let's Go Peach, Let's Go Eevee. Then in Let's Go Peach, Let's Go Eevee, they hinted at Sword and Shield. So my point is that it's very common for them to do that. Next up, the fact that they're saying here that Dawn, Luca, and Barry are going to play roles in the story, however, that there's going to be a new rival and protagonist, makes me feel like this is going to be something in the style of, let's say, I don't know, maybe Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, maybe a Let's Go type game, which I wouldn't want. I want a normal remake personally, but maybe this is a mixture of both. Maybe this is going down like a mixture of a path where it isn't a 100% remake, but maybe a slightly future version of this region or an alternative version of Sinnoh, right? That seems to be what this most likely is hinting at. Then, the female rival whose mother is Champion Cynthia. This sounds super cool, okay? Like, I think like Cynthia is one of the most popular champions across the board. She's one of the most popular characters across the board. People love Cynthia, and why wouldn't they want to make a character that's connected to her? It just seems like a logical choice in terms of marketing, as you can make that character super popular as well, just by the association to Cynthia, and probably making them look somewhat alike, right? Having blonde hair, the little, like, you know, Umbreon-looking thingies. So yeah, definitely could be a possibility in my honest opinion. Next up, Wild Area is replaced by Corner Mountain Wild. That, again, sounds pretty reasonable. The fact that they introduced now the Wild Area means they somewhat have to keep it around. And how would you transfer that over to something like a remake? Well, you've just got to take an area that's known in that place and replace it with the Wild Area. An example would be to take out the Safari Zone in like Sword and Shield, in Kanto, and then insert something like the Wild Area there. Of course, previously we know they did something different with Let's Go Peach, Let's Go Eevee, but that's just an example of what they could do. Either way, here, that makes sense. Next up, power spots can be also be found underground. I'm hoping the underground feature is going to return. The little mini game you could do, that was actually loads of fun. Then Rotom Bike returns with abilities to traverse mountain scales and see through fog of misty terrains. This makes sense. Again, I would prefer though to have like maybe not HMs back, but like maybe just being able to have certain Pokemon do certain tasks, kind of like Alola. Seems like a slightly more enjoyable thing. And also I don't understand why we have to have those really ugly suits on us whenever we're doing any of these things. Like, why can't we just be running around in our normal like outfits? Either way though, Regigigas fight requires transferring 5 Regis from Galar. Now this is something you know Game Freak would love to do, and the Pokemon Company Nintendo, a way to kind of have to force you to go and buy the previous stuff like the DLC and Sword and Shield to be able to then get something else in a future game. This is very much something that they would be willing to do, in my opinion. I could definitely see them jumping on and doing this, and honestly, seems like a possible thing, right? Going and getting all the previous ones, the 5 ones from Galar, shoving them over into, you know, Diamond and Pearl remakes to get Regigigas. Seems like actually plausible, in my opinion. Next up, new Giganto Max Forms for several Pokemon, including Carnivine and Luxray. Again, I will say this makes sense. Carnivine, I'm not really sure how that would look like, but for Luxray, I think it would be really cool. It's one of those Pokemon that I personally love, and a lot of people are really big fans of Luxray. It's a top pick Pokemon. People love it, but the problem is it never really gets much love from specifically Game Freak. They never really give it much attention or put it anywhere on some sort of like, you know, higher tier in sense of like, you know, actually getting love from them. So it would be cool to say something that. Next up though, DLC will be made for extra Sinnoh Islands, but currently halted due to the virus. So here's the funny thing though, right? I think this could be true. Now that this DLC is happening, they're probably planning on doing more DLC for the games. They're probably planning to push out more DLC as a way for them to give themselves years, like certain years in between stuff, to just work on other stuff and not have to push out more content, which actually seems pretty logical in my opinion. Seems like it's most likely going to happen. Next up, Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald Virtual Console. Now this to me would be fantastic. I'd love to have these games on my Switch. I love it because Ruby was my first Pokemon game that I ever owned, that was ever my own. Of course, Gold was ever the first one I ever got to try to play, but it wasn't mine. I just borrowed it friends for like a week, and then I had to give it back. But Ruby, though, was my first ever owned Pokemon game, and I love it, and I want to go back there and enjoy it again, as well as Emerald, man. I just want to check it out and see how it feels like again, you know, but on a Switch. It would be fantastic. Then we have built-in Faraway Island being in those, and that would be great. Honestly, it's a thing that not a lot of people can access, so it'd be cool to have it built into the game from the beginning. So, basically, what do I think about these rumors? Well, of course, the other one about the kind of music from the DLC being leaked, I don't really know. I don't really want to, like, just guess there because it's kind of hard to tell until we get more information. And, of course, it's April the 1st, so anything could be faked. And as for the Diamond and Pearl one, again, I think Diamond and Pearl going to happen next year. Is it going to be like this rumor? Maybe not, but will it happen next year? Most likely, in my honest opinion. So we'll just have to wait and see how things turn out. But ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be the end of the video. If you guys did enjoy it, drop a like down below. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Have a great day, and bye-bye, ladies and gents.